I watched him from the Central Park Five to Project 2025. And what I realized is that in this Donald Trump America, there is no dream that looks like me.
What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Greetings to all of you, wherever you may be watching and listening from. I wanted to share this with you in case you didn't see it. There was a rally in Atlanta for the cackling, or there I said it anyways. Anyway, the cackler, and but it was a beautiful rally. Sam Jackson spoke. By the way, Sam Jackson is 75 years old, everybody. If you want to go and find this full rally, I recommend it just so you could see Sam Jackson. He's 75. He's very energetic. He looked amazing. By the way, his wife, LaTanya, is also 75. She doesn't age either. I just got goosebumps of joy for him, that I could just see the blessing of Allah on him. Just like, wow, man, at 75, you're still this strong and athletic and going and doing it. It was everything, you guys. But also, Spike Lee spoke. Then there was some other political people that we don't care about. But anyways, then Tyler Perry came out. And I will tell you that this speech will change anything you think about him. Anything you think about him is going to be compromised by this speech. It was, I found myself even saying partway through it, Tyler Perry for president, you know, half jokingly, really. But it was important enough to me to share it with you. As I always tell you, I'm a human being that anytime I have something that's fantastic, or I know about something's fantastic, or I experience something fantastic, I have this incessant need to share it. Everything is always better when you share it, everybody. If you just have a candy bar, get another one and just give it to somebody random and say, let's eat this together. And just for the value of, you can just look at each other and say, isn't this great? Wasn't that great? There's something to that. Experience that for yourself. Just experience that for yourself, man. Everything is better when you can share it. It's just better, man. It's just better. So hear this now and be moved by it, because it was so powerful and I didn't want it to end. I won't take up any more time. Let's hear it, and I'll react at the end. Let's go.
Hello, Georgia. Hello, hello, hello. I got to tell you, I've been a resident here for a little more than 30 years, so I know a few things about Georgia. What I want to share with you today is that this is where I found the American dream for myself. And lately I found myself having my feet in two different worlds. One where I'm talking to very wealthy people at their table, and then I come to work and I'm talking to people who work for me about everyday problems and everyday issues. So it puts me in a very, very peculiar spot to be able to talk to you. And I'm grateful for that, having my feet in both those worlds, because I still remember what it was like to stand at the Winn-Dixie on Buford Highway and have $20 and try to figure out, how do I make this meal work for the week? I know what it's like to have my landlord knocking at the door and I'm in the bed hiding because I don't want him to knock on the door because I know he has an eviction notice. I know what it's like to be homeless here in Georgia. I know what it's like to have to scrape up enough money to get to stay at a pay-by-the-week hotel off of Buford Highway. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to sleep in my car wrapped in my grandmother's quilt because I had no place to go. I know what it's like to come from work and walk outside and realize that my car has been repossessed. So make no mistake, I know and I remember how hard it is, and I remember the struggle, and I also know, hear me, how expensive it is to be poor.
Amen. Amen.
But I also believed in an American dream. And when I was coming here to Georgia, I was looking for inspiration, and there was this show called Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And there was a man on there that I really admired, I looked up to. He had a helicopter, and his name was on hotels all over the place. He was, hold on just a second, let me get through this so you hear what I'm saying. Young black men admired him because his name was in rap lyrics. So when I first started making a little money, the first thing I did was checked into the Trump Hotel because I wanted to feel that specialness. But then I started to do my research. Research is important. Truth is important. Facts are important. I found out about a discrimination lawsuit against he and his father because they didn't want people like me in their building. I found out about him taking a full-page ad out on young black men in the New York Times. I found out about the birther lie. We all heard it, saying that Barack Obama was not born in this country. There are undertones there and there are echoes there that we all had to pay attention to. So I watched him when he won the presidency. I watched him say that there were good people on both sides when neo-Nazis were screaming, "Jews will not replace us." I watched him from the Central Park 5 to Project 2025.
Amen. Glory.
And what I realized is that in this Donald Trump America, there is no dream that looks like me. We want a president who believes that this American dream is for everyone. And that president is Kamala Harris. We want a president that understands, like I did in Georgia. When I came here, I didn't have anything, but I had a dream. So I worked, and against all odds, I worked my way to where I am now. It was here in Georgia. See, in Georgia, you know what we do? We don't sit around and complaining. We go to work. It was here where I became a studio owner. My first studio was on Krog Street. Now that is Krog Street Market. And then I bought another studio, which was on Greenbrier, right near Greenbrier Mall on Continental Colony Parkway. And it was there that Barack Obama came in 2012 to do a fundraiser. And he was getting ready to leave, and he said, "Come ride with me. We're going to my house for a fundraiser." And I'm like, "Wait, you want me to ride with you and the beast?" So I get in the car, and traffic is stopped, and we're riding, and he's talking to me. And for those of you who are old enough to remember Charlie Brown, all I heard was wah, 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 wah. I finally said, "I'm sorry, Mr. President, but I haven't heard a word you said, because I'm in awe of this country. What a great country that you could become president of the United States." And he turned to me quick as a flash and he said, "Yes, but what a great country that you could become Tyler Perry."
Allahu Akbar.
From that moment, I went and I bought a bigger studio. I bought Fort McPherson Army Base. Right now, where we hire thousands of people are coming through that doors. And I don't care what was stacked up against me. I don't care. I didn't pay attention to that. What I paid attention to was, how do I help somebody? I broke through that door, laid it down on its side, and let it become a ramp so that somebody else can get higher too. You want to hear something about an American dream? Fort McPherson was once a Confederate Army base, where there were Confederate soldiers trying to plot and plan on how to keep 3.9 million Negroes enslaved. Now that land is owned by me.
That gave me goosebumps. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That gave me goosebumps.
Let's talk about an American dream. It's seniors working so hard and working hard and working, seniors working hard. And what I realized when I bought it, that seniors around, their taxes were going through the roof. So what I did was, I was like, no, you're not gonna come here and take these seniors' houses. I paid everybody's taxes off for years so that they can keep their houses. When an 85-year-old woman in Coweta County lost her house to a fire and wanted a place for all her grandkids, I rebuilt that house for her.
Allahu Akbar.
Most recently, I saw in AJC a story where there was a woman who hired this contractor and he gutted her house and left her there with nothing. She was living in a house with no plumbing and no walls for years. I rebuilt that house for her. Why am I telling you this? I'm not telling you this to be bragging. What I'm telling you about it is, what I want you to understand is I have compassion for our seniors. So when a candidate says that we have lowered the cost of insulin to $35 for seniors, that candidate has my vote. I put many kids through college, and recently there was a family, a woman who was murdered by her husband, and she had 3 kids that were college age. I put all those kids through college. So when I hear a candidate say, we are going to do what we can to reduce student loan debt, that is a candidate that I can stand with. I stand with a candidate who has an American dream for everyone. She stands with us. And she has an American dream for our children. And let me tell you something about the children. I don't know if you remember, but her DNC speech was great, right? But there's a moment that you may have missed. When the cameras were rolling and she was walking around and the balloons are falling and confetti's falling, I'm watching her smile and wave. Her family comes out, but there are 2 little girls on the stage. And I see her constantly making sure they're okay, not getting too close to the edge. That's what you want. See, the little things will tell you about the heart of a person. In that speech, she talked about how we have more in common than what separates us. So, Georgia, I want to put that to the test. I didn't have a father who gave me millions of dollars to start a business. Did you? Didn't think so. My mother didn't have some great legacy, but she taught me how to pray my way through a situation. It sounds like we have that in common. I'm the kind of American that believes in a secure border, but at the same time believes that if anyone is coming seeking legal asylum, our arms should be open to them. I'm the kind of American that believes that if you are running for office, you shouldn't sink and tank a bipartisan bill to help the border so that you could use it for your own glory. If you are like me, I've worked my ass off to buy my first house and build my business and take care of my family. That is the American dream. I believe if you work that hard and you put into Social Security, when you get to a certain age, that you put in should be there waiting for you because it's yours. I believe that we all should have affordable health care and it not be replaced with the concept of a plan. What the hell? I'm the kind of American that believes that no matter what your party, we ought to be able to sit down and have civil conversation so that we can work toward a solution, the same as I do with our governor, Brian Kemp. I'm the kind of man that believes, I'm the kind of man that believes that the government nor a man should be telling a woman what she can and cannot do with her body. I'm the kind of American who believes that poll workers should do their civic duty without being harassed and threatened like Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss in Fulton County. And I am not the kind of American that glories in, enjoys, laughs at, or celebrates an 80-year-old man being hit with a hammer because his wife is in politics and you don't agree with her. And two things can be true at once. I am not the kind of man that glory in, celebrates, enjoy, or laughs at a 78-year-old former president almost meeting his death at an assassin's bullet in Butler's, Pennsylvania. It's not right. It's about decency, America, and I think you agree with me.
They didn't really clap for that. They wasn't mad that Trump's ass
But
wasn't
I
dead.
am the kind of American that believes if you lose an election, that you honor the constitutional, peaceful transfer of power. And judging by your reaction, I believe Kamala is right. We have more in common than what separates us. As I'm closing here, I just want to talk about that quilt that I used to wrap up in my grandmother's car, that quilt that my grandmother gave me. That quilt was a tapestry of beautiful pieces, but I completely ignored it. I didn't think it was worth anything because she had made it from all of these stitches and gave it to me as a gift. And I was walking past this antique store years later and I saw one in the window and I go, wow, that's a beautiful quilt. It reminds me of my grandmother. So I walk in, I talk to the lady. She started explaining to me that each patch in that quilt was worth this and meant this because of the woman who made it. So when I think about America, I think about my grandmother's quilt. We are all shapes, sizes, and colors, but we are one. And it was so important for me to stand with a candidate who understands that we as America, we are a quilt. And I could never stand with a candidate who wants America to be a sheet. So today, I voted for Kamala Harris. And Georgia, it was only about 11,400 votes that separated Trump and Biden. So every vote counts. So I stand here, full-throated, with my full chest, begging you, imploring you, let's get out and make Kamala Harris the 47th president of the United States of America. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Now, that was powerful. It was powerful. He really got me when he talked about owning the land that used to be a Confederate base, you know, just to be able to say, I now own that land. That was like an earthquake that goes through you, you know. But also the quilt, everybody, because one of my most treasured and sacred mementos from my grandmother is a quilt that I have here. And I suspect many black people got a quilt somewhere in their house that was made by their grandmama or their auntie, you know. She used to save all of our old clothes. Don't throw that away. I make a quilt out of that. Don't throw that away. I make a quilt out of that. And then one day, you'd always see her quilting, but one day she would call you or you'd be there or something like that. She got finished your quilt. And then this beautiful quilt, subhanAllah, that would just, it's a work of art, man, done by hand. And I've watched it a billion times over the years and it still holds up. It don't fade, it don't do nothing. I really related to that quilt, man. I really related to that because y'all know how I am about my grandmother. I speak about her every day, damn near, if not every week. And she is the queen of my entire existence forever and ever and ever into infinity. There is no one that I will ever love or who will ever love me more than I loved my grandmother and more than she loved me. It's not possible. That love was pure and fierce and unyielding, you know. It's the reason why I know love. I know what love is. I know it because my grandmother was love. She lived it, she gave it, she breathed it. Everything about her was love. And so that was embossed upon my spirit and my soul and all of my being, you know. I also love when he spoke about how he helped people, which we know Tyler Perry does a lot of helping people, and there's a lot of stuff that he does that we don't know about. And then there's stuff that will, sort of raise to the surface and makes the news and stuff like that. But that holds a very special place in my soul because I always have said, and I'll continue to say to my last breath, the only reason to have money, hear this now, hear me. The only reason to have money is to see what you can do for someone else. That's the only reason to have money. Not so you can have Givenchy and Chanel and Armani and Versace. No. The only reason to have money is to see what you can do for someone else. That's it. That's it. And not just money, anything that you have, you should be able to share that with those who have less than you. You know, you have a car, somebody's walking, or you know a neighbor that needs a ride. You need to be on the case. You need to be on the case. You need to be on the case, you know. But I was also struck by the fact that he's such an effective speaker. You couldn't have not been moved by that. That was a whole prosecution of why you should vote for a candidate. So just imagine if he was running for president or anything and he gave that speech. That's a reason to vote for him, even. Just that 15-minute speech or whatever it was. That's how you close. And then after he finished, then he introduced Barack Obama. Barack came out. And this was a huge rally, you guys. I hate you didn't see any of the pull away shots and stuff like that when he was speaking because, I mean, the pace was packed. This was a huge rally. Huge, huge, huge. The bleachers were filled to it looked like I don't know what venue they were. It looked like a football stadium, quite frankly, to me, but I don't know. But I tell you, then Barack came out and spoke. When Sam Jackson came out, he spoke. Everybody that spoke was very moving. And then the last person to speak was the candidate herself. And she had nothing. She's the worst speaker of any speaker that's ever spoken for anything at all. She doesn't know how to close the deal. She doesn't know how to do anything. Like, you're fighting for your life. You're trying to win a presidency. You're not connecting. Where's your personal stories? And don't give me your mother bought her first house when you were a teenager. If I hear that one more time, I'll throw myself into traffic. I don't want to hear it. And literally, when it was over and they introduced her and she came out, I literally just clicked away from it. I'm like, I don't need to hear her. I'm done. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't need to hear anything she has to say because she's saying the same damn thing. She does not know how to close the deal. As I've told you, I'm not voting. I don't need to. I'm over it. But for those of you who are still interested and want to vote, God bless you. Go and do it. But don't expect her to win. As I laid out in one of my, I think it's now 3 videos ago. It's like an 18-minute video. It's here on the channel. You can go and look at it. It's not that far back. Where I prosecute my case that she has already lost and that all of this other stuff is just keeping up appearances and a desperate attempt. Maybe they're hoping that Florida won't really come through because usually that kind of goes Republican. Maybe they're hoping she picks up some numbers there and these types of things, but she's already lost everybody because she can't win. She's this rally is in Georgia. She can't win Georgia. She can't win Pennsylvania. She definitely can't win Michigan because the Arab and Muslim populations in those cities are enough to stifle her from winning, and Muslims are never going to vote for genocide. When you go out and vote for her or Donald Trump, know this: you are voting for genocide. You are now culpable for the 50,000 plus deaths of the people in Gaza. That's on you. Because one of the reasons why she's not running away with the race and why it's so close for both of them, quite frankly, because if he was to say on day one, I'm cutting off all aid to Israel, no more money, no more weapons. I'm ordering a ceasefire on first day, or they can kick rocks as far as the United States is concerned. It would be a landslide victory for him. If she did that, it would be a landslide victory for her. But none of them will do it because everybody acts like Israel has a gun to their head. Every politician, every single one. You watch any of the surrogates that are out there speaking on the different news shows and stuff on their behalf, when they ask them the Israel question, everybody starts clamming up. These people have infected and infested this place like a parasite. And I'm talking about the Zionists because my last video, I brought you the Rabbi Beck, who was speaking and laying out to you that Zionism is not Judaism. Jews, real Orthodox Jews, don't want shit to do with none of this. This does not represent them. They don't support this shit. They don't support the state of Israel. They don't support the flag. It's against Judaic law, and on and on and on. I showed you how Orthodox Jews, when they go to the state of Israel, they are attacked by the general public, the police, the military, all that. They spit on them. They attack them. I brought you video, and it's in that last video that I brought you the rabbi. I put those clips in there. So we're talking about stinking, demonic, evil, white, demonic Zionists, blood drinking, fucking stinking ass Zionists. They're nothing but the devil. Nothing but the devil. So no Muslim will vote for these people. None at all. None. 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 And certainly no Arabs will vote for these people because these Palestinians are Arab people. And so these are the ones carrying out the murder. There's no way I could go and cast my vote knowing that my vote is giving you the okay to send more billions, and then I'm gonna vote and then get home and watch the news and see how many more Palestinians babies I gotta watch being pulled out of rubble, how many more people I gotta watch being burned to death. Nah, my allegiance is to my maker. That's it. I don't give a fuck what happens on earth. You understand? My pursuit is the afterlife, the day of judgment, and eternal paradise. Anything that goes on here can kick rocks. I'm good with it all. I'm good. But I just wanted to draw a contrast to say that everybody that spoke was stronger than her. Everybody, even when she came out, it was she didn't look authoritative. She always has that dumb sorority girl look, like, "Ooh, you guys picked me for homecoming queen, me uh, me." And she has that's how she looks. That's her body language, that grin, everything just is like, "Me, you guys picked me." I can't. She's not believable. I'm over it. And also, I have to add this to my charge. Remember that her husband is a Zionist Jew, or a Zionist. You can't say Zionist Jew, everybody. I have to catch my own self. Remember, don't add Jew to Zionist because you can't have that. You can't have that. Just like you can't have a terrorist Muslim. You can't have that. You can't be a terrorist and be a Muslim. We don't have that. Do you understand? You can't eat pork and be a Muslim. You can't drink alcohol and be a Muslim. We no, we don't have that. So you can't be a Zionist and be a Jew. These are imposter ass fucking people. And even more because you have a lot of Americans going there. They just claim they're Jew, and those are the settlers that are attacking the people in the West Bank and all of it. So it's not just in Gaza. You have people going into the West Bank, and they just show up at people's house and like beer drinking yahoos from here, stinking ass white people, just regular ass stinking ass white people. That's it. So this is all bad, every bit of it. If I was you, I would vote for Jill Stein. Do you understand? Just vote for Jill Stein. And the last thing I'll say is to these Negroes who think that not voting for Kamala and then voting for Trump, you still in with the same bird, Negro. So you ain't did shit. You ain't did a damn thing. You ain't did a damn. If you were really a man, because you still trying to be a bitch. If you was really a man, you'd say, I'm not voting for neither one of these people. I'm ready to start our own party for us. But you're more comfortable running from one master to the next master, so I don't got shit for you either. Contemplate that. Shade intended. The Jedi has spoken.